think you just... Okay.
Well, hey y'all, welcome back to Doug's Cars. Got another fun episode here. Again, something a little different today with my buddy Ryan in his Nissan Juke. And we are taking this to have some tuning work done to it to make it a little more powerful. It's currently got 197 horsepower, I believe.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good for a car this size. It's actually a fairly small vehicle, but it moves. What do you have installed?
We're gonna put in a new front-mounted intercooler, a Mishimoto one.
Nice.
And then I'm just gonna swap out the oil feed line. Apparently in these vehicles they clog up over time. I'm trying to get mileage out of this thing, so I'm gonna swap that out with like a better piece.
Nice. Yeah, it's usually a good idea to upgrade a lot of these OEM parts that are made for cars that maybe aren't as powerful and use similar components. So yeah, get some good life out of this car and some more power. Stay tuned, let's see what happens. Well, we made it to the guy's house and got the Juke here, and he's got a bunch of cool stuff in his driveway. I'll have to take a look at some of those things a little bit later on, but yeah, hopefully we get some cars shuffle around and get this thing going. Apparently the front bumper's got to come off to make sense to put a new intercooler, and that's a pretty big piece. I was going to say throw a couple revs in her, but we might wake up the neighbors, so it is Sunday morning. And that dude over there is sitting on his driveway reading a book. This guy has a couple second-gen Integras with manual transmissions, which are really cool. Riding dirty. I could be wrong, but I don't think that these Civics came from the factory with disc brakes in the back. I think that must be added on. Interesting. So I know, it's a Nissan Juke. They got a bad rap. You know, they've kind of grown on me. I have a couple of friends who have or have had them, and you know, it's an interesting design. It's certainly unusual. I think that they've aged better now that they're out of production than when they first came out. Could be wrong about that, but that's my theory. I'm sticking to it. 197 horsepower is not a ton anymore. I mean, you can get 300 basically in a Camry, but that's a small car, and it's all-wheel drive, and it moves, and it is saddled with one of Nissan's lovely CVTs, unfortunately, although you can kind of manually shift it, and it does actually feel like you're shifting a transmission, but, you know, it's still fake. But it was a nice ride over here. It's got good seats up front. The tech is pretty cool for the year. It's got a little gauge cluster in the console that does mainly the climate control, but also does like a G-force meter and things like that, which I believe is only on the Nismo model, which this of course is. So it'll be interesting to see what this is like on the trip back after we've done these things to it. It's not going to add a ton of power because it's really not what it's going to be there for, but definitely having a bigger intercooler is a good thing. I wish I'd done it when I had my X1 with the 3-liter Turbo 6. It had a need for a bigger intercooler after I did my Dynan software upgrade. So hopefully this is going to bring Ryan some good joy out of this vehicle, and he can get closer to getting over 200 horsepower, which is what he's trying to do with this. It still is going to be a daily driver, so he can't go crazy with it, and that's not what he's looking for to do. But there's a bunch of cool aftermarket stuff for this, so let's get started.
You gonna eat it? Then when we take it off, the one thing I've heard that you need to be careful of is making sure you don't crack the LEDs. So when you're pulling it off.
These all come with it?
I don't know. I think so, and you'll need to unplug it, but we'll find out. So I guess just when we're ripping the bumper off to it.
Yeah, it looks totally different without that front bumper on there, that's for sure.
Yeah. look how small this thing is, and it's all blocked by the grill and stuff. You know, that's why they say like you can swap this thing out. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, that's that.
Quite a difference.
That's quite smooth.
Hey.
Hey, old intercooler out.
Hello, Moto.
So now we got to figure out how all the piping works.
That'll stab you when you get it out.
Yes, exactly.
It's a box inside a box. Oh no, it's not.
Sure is well party. I hope the mounting brackets are in here, because if not, we're going to have to go run to like AutoZone or something. Sealed. New toys. It seemed to make these very well. All the piping. I imagine that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's what I have on my car dash.
Yeah, son of a bitch.
Yeah, this stupid WD-40 bottles never work right.
And then this, we'll need to reuse that rubber hose, but that'll get us from there to there. Yeah. Okay.
Time to go get something to eat, and then maybe some more parts. And then we can button this thing up. Chipotle.
A month or so, they just are.
Let's go get us some parts and get this thing on the road. Where's the metal aisle?
Right.
Big bar stock there.
Rise there.
So this is where the oil line is.
Yeah, it's this thing.
Yeah.
But you gotta move this stuff aside. I don't know how these clips work though. To move this line out of the way.
Good question.
This clip.
That one looks like it just popped
Yeah,
right
that
out. Like,
one
yeah, that one's
just
just.
popped out.
It's probably the same kind of clip. It's just at a different angle, maybe.
No, this one looks different.
Something like that.
The old-fashioned way.
Can I just say how amazing it is to have a garage with air conditioning?
What's that?
It just makes this so much better.
Or it's going to.
Channeling your inner Jeremy Clarkson with the hammer. This heat shield is just a nightmare.
Yeah, I don't even know how to.
A hammer?
No, you can't even get a good hammering angle.
No.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I'm sure it wasn't meant to ever come off.
Yeah.
And
Well, once
it's
it
sure
comes
not.
off,
It's
it's
sure
not-
not trying to come off.
Yeah.
One eternity later.
Yeah, that thing's never going back in.
Yeah. How
That
did
is
they
one heat shield that is almost. Yeah. They probably just replace it with a new part or something. They have to do this at the dealership.
Yeah.
Probably do.
Crazy.
See if they make an aftermarket one.
Yeah, right.
I really needed to add another heat shield, or like I could put like heat wrap on it or something, right? Like
Well, you could.
if I were worried.
You could get just a small one that has like these, just the top 3 bolts.
Yeah.
I'm sure they make that, or we could probably cut this one out if you were that concerned.
I'm not that concerned.
Look at John all day.
Almost.
All this for one oil line.
Right? Again, this is something that's like notorious on this vehicle for
Yeah,
clogging up. So it's, how many angry Nissan mechanics do you think there are that just fucking
All of
took
them?
an hour
Hey.
to take this fucking thing off?
it's out. Yeah, man, that's a lot heavier than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Again, hang that up above your fireplace.
Yeah.
It's like your trophy. Yeah.
So this thing is a pain in the ass. Does that make it easier to get to?
Yeah.
I mean, that's got to be worse than when I did like all the Vanos hoses in my old 5 Series. Like, and those were all, they had the clips, they were all brittle and shattered.
This.
Yeah.
Yeah, both of these fittings are tight. Turbo and the block.
It really is a tiny turbo.
Baby turbo.
Yeah. There's one buttoned up oil line, that's for sure.
Looking good. All the oil.
Moment of truth, that's for sure. Get a picture of this little torque, and there's a neat little computer that's on this. I mean,
yeah. Again, for
it's,
like
yeah.
an entry-level car.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, of its time. I mean, this was this is a 14, right? So, I mean, you didn't see this on too many cars back then, unless you were paying big money.
Yeah.
Well, it's a long day of work, 9 hours worth. What do you think? You feel any changes?
Do I feel any changes? No.
No, we knew there weren't going to be any changes that we felt, but this car is going to get a tune soon, and these things needed to be done in order to facilitate that tune being useful.
And not blow up the car.
Yeah, not blow up the car. I mean, the intercooler is always a good idea. I mean, that thing was hidden behind, like, half behind the headlight, half behind like, the edge of the grill, and it was just not getting enough air in for any type of extra power. So I hope you enjoyed this little foray into working on a Nissan Juke, a little different. It's something I don't normally do, and it was certainly a fun day. Long day. Go home and relax for a little while. But thanks you all so much for watching. Keep subscribing, liking, and commenting. I'd like to know what you think about this Nissan Juke episode. Thanks again.